workout obviously is for myself and my body, but it's kind of also like a rededication to the goals that I have been pursuing, not just not just because of, you know, like the physical aesthetic goals, but also health goals, consistency goals.
I got that.
Hello everyone, and welcome back. In the last video of the Gym with a Witch series, I touched on different ways that you can use your time at the gym for your witchy practice, or goals, or just, you know, things like that, of that nature. So go check it out if you haven't, and if that interests you. In this video, I thought I would talk about more of a term that I think is used much in the fitness community, which would be the mind-muscle connection. And it really made me think about why this connection is important, not just to reach your fitness or physique goals, but also to really get into a relaxed state and perhaps achieve that level of trance or a specific brain state that you may need to in order to engage in ritual or any other activity that would benefit greatly from being in an altered state, whether that be shamanic journeying, some witches call that also witch flight, you know, riding the hedge, things like that. I guess the first thing that we should talk about is what is the mind-muscle connection. Now, when we say the mind-muscle connection, it's literally as simple as it sounds. It is the connection that you are making between your mind and the muscle or muscle group that you are trying to work on, activate, grow. I say grow because we are talking about being in the gym, right? So that's typically what that means in the most general sense possible. But why does this matter, or why do we want to develop this type of like ability or skill? So when it comes to physical fitness, the idea of developing this mind-muscle connection is to enhance the effectiveness of the workouts, promote better muscle engagement, recruitment, which would lead to improved muscle development, control, performance, all that good fitness stuff, right? But what does that have to do with trance states or altered states? In my practice, I have not experienced being able to get into an altered state if I was hyper, or if my body felt too alert, or if there was too much tension that I was holding in my body. Those are things that prevented me from being able to slip, or I guess get into that trance state or that altered state. A way to remedy this, if this is also an issue for any of you, is to incorporate tension releasing exercises prior to attempting any type of trance work or journeying. And I can't take the credit for thinking of this because this has been incorporated in many different practices that I've seen, mainly pertaining to the shamanic persuasion or category. So how do you release tension from the body so that it is relaxed and you can actually proceed with your ritual work, trance work, journeying, etc.? There are a lot of different opinions on this on the internet that you could definitely Google, and there are a plethora of yoga poses that you can try, but that did not work for me. For me, what worked was really using the mind-muscle connection to engage individual groups of muscles throughout my body, activate them and hold tension for a few seconds, and then release it. And I worked throughout my entire body from my feet to my head doing that, activating the different muscle groups as I went along and releasing. And it was only after doing that type of tension release that I could really sink deep into trance. And I realized it was because I was telling my body it was okay to just sit there and take a back seat to what was going to happen. I do want to make it clear that this is how I was able to get into a deeper state of trance quicker. I was getting into lighter states of trance previous to this, but it was a lot more easy to slip out of. And if something disrupted me while I was in that trance state, it was a lot harder to just resume the activity. I almost felt like I had to try to fake it before getting back into it. Whereas when I was in the deeper state of trance, it was really difficult for an outside distraction to pull me out. It was as if I had to almost fight to pull myself out of the trance. And that's kind of like the differentiating factor in getting into a deeper trance state versus a more surface level trance state. I hope these tips were helpful, or this tip was helpful. I am going to try to go a little more in depth of how I do the tension releasing in a later video perhaps. But for now, I hope this planted something for you to think about. And if you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to leave them in the comments and I'll get back to them eventually. And if you have any other ideas as to how to deepen a trance state that isn't maybe talked about as much, I would love for you to go ahead and share it. So drop that down in the comments also. And hope everyone has a great and beautiful day.